Yo, peep these patch notes.
We're gonna start with Bill. You've been playing a new game, but it is an update to an older game. Zenless Zone Zero, correct?
Yep, it is the gacha game that I cannot stop playing. For some reason, this one just clicks with me, and I am very excited to talk about the new patch that came out. It's basically a soft relaunch of Zenless Zone Zero, trying to kind of bring in either people that didn't mesh well with it whenever it first came out for one reason or another, or bring in like a new player base all together. The game is still doing extremely well. It's a Hoyoverse game, obviously, so it's going to do well. They're going to put a lot of time, money, and effort into it. And they are also taking a lot of community feedback with this game in particular, more so than I think they have with Genshin and Honkai. One of those big community feedbacks being the analog mode or TV mode that the game launched with. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically like a grid system style of like progressing through levels. So there will be squares, and squares will have different icons on them in the shape of TVs, and those icons, whenever you go over top of them, will either bring you into a battle or give you like a random event or stuff like that.
Not
People
trying
found
to be
this
an anime nerd. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
What is she? What is that tail?
She is a rat humanoid.
God,
Okay.
I am, Bill.
I was not ready for that.
She's a rat, bro. That's what she is. She's a fucking rat.
Oh, I feel horrible. I was so attracted to it. Oh my god.
She's just got the rat tail and the rat like little rat ears, but yeah.
Tony's found a newfound love.
Here's a little bit of lore for Zenless Zone Zero. They had to attribute some effort to the furry community. So there is a race in this game called the Thyrines, and they are humanoid animals. And this kind of branches from light Thyrines, which have like just animal tails and ears. So there's this character. There's also a cat male that has the cat ears and a cat tail. And then there's full Thyrines, which are like your full furries. So
Never go full Thyrene.
Hey, so I just want to declare 2025 is the year that Tony is the furry and not Sin. I'm out. All right, I'm done.
I was oddly attracted to the characters.
Okay, so it's not mine. Yeah, again, welcome. Hey, listen, I've been getting berated for a year about this bullshit. Welcome. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. It's Tony's turn. It's Tony's turn.
Tony, they put a lot of effort into the assets of this game, so I can appreciate it's well worth getting into. But back to patch 1.4. So they removed the TV mode, or not remove's a poor term. The option to still play the analog mode is still there if you want to, but they have went back all the way to the very first, like the intro of the game, like the first story beats, and made it so that, as you're seeing on the screen, that was one of the first chapters of the game. Originally, that was going through TV screens until you hit an encounter, and then it would pull you into the encounter from there. Now you actually have an overworld map where you're running around with the characters, you're interacting with maps, like level stuff that way, and it's a lot more seamless. I think there's a lot less disjointment, and it's a lot more exciting because you get to see the character models that you're spending all these spins on and getting more time with it. This is a very action oriented gacha, so it makes sense to kind of lean into that, whereas other gachas have a bit more of a chill aspect to them. So that was the first big thing that they did. Secondarily, they added their first Void Hunter character, which I don't know. I know that Genshin Impact has characters like this. I don't know if Honkai does, but these are like your god tier characters. Like in the lore, these are the most powerful characters. They're like the icons, or is that what they're called in Genshin? Like the godlike characters.
So every so often they always put a character in the game that kind of power creeps most other characters, or for that matter, just are better, and they want people to spin into
Archons. Like yeah, that's what they're called. Okay. So Void Hunters are this game's version of Archons, and this comes in the form of Miyabi, who we will see later in my gameplay, and if you wanted to skip to about the halfway point, it would show that off. But she is, as you described, Tony, she is a DPS that is just a cut above everybody else. She's the character on the screen now that's doing all the Virgil like sword swipes and stuff like that. So with that Void Hunter character coming in, they have now kind of clean slated all of the base factions that they have in the game. So they have a full story set going forward. The story doesn't feel disjointed. You're not waiting for more story to come out, because at the very beginning of the game's launch, there wasn't a whole lot of content to it. Now they have a full story arc that they have gotten through. So
that's nice.
And lastly, they've kind of reworked how some of the end game content works. Again, it's involving that analog mode, but they've added a whole new game mode that is basically a roguelite end game mode into this. So instead of it being the TV mode where you're going through and you're picking what paths you want with that, what items you want to pick up from there, they do like a card system where the cards have different attributes that will modify your characters moving forward. They went full roguelite, where you go into a portal, you do an encounter, and then at the encounter you get like 1 to 3 portals that you get to choose from, whether it's a combat encounter, whether it's a puzzle encounter, whether it's a random encounter where you go in bizarre merchant there that's trying to sell you like these drugs that's going to make you weaker for 2 fights, but then after that you get super buffed. So there's a lot of give and take going on, and I really am enjoying how they are taking community feedback, taking aspects of the game that people might not have meshed with real well immediately, and while they're not removing them, because you can still do the analog mode in that game mode if you want to, they are giving a more concise default to what Zenless Zone Zero is kind of about. I guess it's more on brand with what Zenless Zone Zero is.
I want to play this so bad, but just playing Honkai right now, one gacha at a time, bro. Like, I love the art style and everything about this game, and I want to play it so bad, but I feel like if I do, my wallet won't like me. So I'm gonna avoid it at all costs.
So I've been full free to play on Zenless, and I've gotten every character that I've wanted. I've skipped probably 3 characters, but that was by choice. If you're wanting to get every single character as they come out, then you might have to put in the old credit card cheat code. But the way I've been playing through the game, I haven't had to put any money in. I've gotten everybody I wanted. Good. They're pretty good with the currency payouts. They're pretty good with the spin payouts. Each patch comes out with a lot of content that allows you to kind of work that up. And if you're full addicted to Honkai, which Honkai is an amazing game, Zenless Zone Zero, I honestly feel like Hoyoverse is still marketing it as like a secondary gacha, like the side gacha, because the dailies literally take like 45 seconds to a minute to complete. You go hit 3 places that are all in the same area, you collect your resources, and then you don't have to play it anymore if you don't got time for it. It's more based around like weekly stuff. So if you can find time within a week to get like all of the like the harder farm stuff done, it's a lot more manageable than what I remember from Genshin, what I remember from Honkai, what I've played with Dislight, being a few of the gachas that I've played. This is the most relaxed as far as like them trying to time creep you.
Nice. Well, again, Zenless Zone Zero, it's been out for a little while. It is from obviously Hoyoverse, free to play. It's playable on everything, right? As far as it's playable on mobile and PC. I don't think it's on Switch or anything like that.
It is on console, it's on PC, and it's on mobile.
Okay, awesome. Nice. Well, there you go. Well, that is ZZZ, or Zenless Zone Zero.
Thank you for checking out the patch notes. If you enjoyed this small selection from our podcast, come and join us every other Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the full, unfiltered pre-patch podcast. And make sure you check out all of our past shows on anchor.fm/prepatchpodcast.